So last week when I was here, my sister was here also. And when I ride home, she told me, "Oh God, Leslie, I was waiting for all of the Sarah stories to come that matched with your talk." So I figured this week I won't disappoint. So Sarah, if you're watching online, here you go. A few years back, well gosh, it's been more than a few years, it's been a hot minute. We were at, I believe it was a youth retreat, and one of the roundabout questions was, tell us a time when you had learned a lesson. And the answer that my sister gave was not what I would have expected. She said, "I learned my first lesson from my big sister." And I was very nervous. I was like, "Oh God, what did I do?" And so here's the story. It was Sarah's birthday, and she wanted a Tonka truck. That was it. She wanted her Tonka truck. Anything else didn't matter. She wanted the Tonka truck. Sarah's an outside kind of gal. She played in the dirt. We came in more dirty than we came in clean from when we were playing outside. And so it came time to open the presents. And everybody's always at the edge of their seat when you're opening presents. They want to know what you get. You want to know if what I gave is good. And there's that anticipation. So Sarah opens one of the gifts coming up, and she opens it up, and it's a doll. And she immediately said what was in her head outside on her face. And I was about 8. Sarah was about 6. And I leaned over and whispered in her ear, "Somebody thought really hard about giving you that gift. Smile and say thank you." She's like, "Thank you." I had no idea at the age of 8 that I would be teaching gratitude to my little sister. But don't we experience that opportunity in our world where we get, as adults, trying to find gratitude in moments of disappointment, trying to find gratitude in moments of hurt, trying to find gratitude in difficult circumstances? It's been one of those weeks for me, y'all. I've had a rough week. I've had a week where I was in a funk. I wasn't in a good mood. I had to do a lot of self-care. And I finally reached to the point where I sat with my feels long enough, and it's important, y'all, that you sit with your feels. Don't dismiss them. Feel them. Because they let you know what you really need. And so when you're sitting with those feelings, but then you realize, okay, now I know what I need. Now I need to move myself beyond the feels and get to where it is that I want to be. Because I was riding that hamster wheel of overthinking. What about this? What about that? Did I do this enough? Is this enough? Am I enough? All those things. And then it made it very clear that sometimes in our lives, we have to grind the gratitude. You have to make yourself find what you're going to be grateful for. And so I began to sit with that, and I was like, okay, 3 things, Leslie. You come up with 3 things that you're grateful for. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And it wasn't long. I was able to do it in a minute or 2. And you could automatically feel the peace re-enter your being from the turmoil when you got to grind that gratitude. And it goes beyond, this kind of gratitude goes beyond just being a polite thank you. It is a big life circumstance that grinding out the gratitude is essential for your overall well-being. And I realize at this time of year, there's a lot of, you're getting ready for the holidays, and there's all this uplifting, everything is joy. And then some people, their life is hard for now, temporarily. My little setback was it's not anything major, y'all, don't worry. But it was enough to make me realize I need to be thankful. I need to focus on my gratitude. And so we're going to talk a little bit about grinding that gratitude. Why gratitude? What resources do we have? And what are some ways that we can grind it out? And since it's Thanksgiving week, y'all can look forward to a food reference later. Huh? My slide? My slide. We're grinding out some gratitude. Thank you, Marlo. So I did a little bit of research because y'all know I like to get all in it. One single act of thoughtful gratitude results in 10% immediate happiness boost. If you could think of one act of thoughtful gratitude results in a 10% immediate happiness boost. So I'm like, well, if I do this 10 times, then I should be good to go, right? Yeah, I should be good to go. It reduces depressive symptoms by 35%. Regular gratitude journaling can increase optimism by 5 to 15%. And for you night owls, it can increase sleep quality by 25%. So if you don't require a lot of sleep, that quality of sleep will be even better if you share some gratitude. That's a good bedtime ritual, don't you think? I like it. Overall well-being improves 10% with consistent practice. My mathematical logic doesn't take place because I figure, if we do this 10 days in a row, then we should be good to go. But I'm sure that there's things in the world that will cause us to deplete some of that energy, so it's kind of a circular thing and not a linear thing. It decreases your blood pressure. It helps prevent you from overeating. How many of you in those stressful situations go find the thing? It's the chocolate for me. It's the chips for me if I'm a little angry, I want to crunch something. It improves pain tolerance. I can attest to that. When I'm having a high pain day on my face, which doesn't happen often, but when I do, if I focus on gratitude or I focus on just being and move my focus from that, it does so much better. And I think perhaps the most important thing here for me as to why we should show gratitude is that it brings us back to our Christ center so that we can fully shine our light. It brings us back to our Christ center so that we can fully shine our light. If I stayed where I was on Tuesday, this talk would be awful. But I didn't. Because gratitude is like medicine that's fast-acting, extra strength, long-lasting, and the best part is there's no adverse side effects and there's no risk of an allergic reaction. 'Tis good stuff. When we're experiencing turbulence in life so much that we're feeling dizzy, this gratitude will help rebalance and set us. If you've run on that hamster wheel of overthinking way too long, that it's tipped over and it's now turned into a merry-go-round, once you stop and hold on to something, show some gratitude of the little things. Gratitude for me is that friend that grabs you by the shoulders, looks you square in the eye, and says, it's going to be okay. There are good things in this world. So if you need to hear this today, it's going to be okay. There are good things in this world. So how do we get this? How do we grind out that gratitude? And what are we grinding anyway? Some of my favorite things that are ground that I like is cinnamon and coffee. Yes. But in this to me is like the secret ingredient in your what you making recipe of life that I talked about last week. So cook up something good. Grind up something good with this gratitude. Like if you're grinding up the cinnamon of life, perhaps it's something that you're grateful for that is spicy sweet. Anything in your life that's a little spicy sweet? It's a little, no. Okay, this situation calls me to stand in my power. Spicy sweet. Ground coffee. What in your life perks you up? Is it music? Is it time with a friend? What in your life perks you up? Ground ginger. I like me some sushi. The ginger cleanses your palate. What in your life cleanses your palate? Is it meditation? Is it time in nature? Is it prayer? Is it getting able to vent so that way you can let that go? What cleanses your palate? Ground cumin, comino. It's earthy. What in your life is earthy? And that could be people. It could be a visit to a park. It can be getting some time in with some clay to mold and to make. You don't have to be an artist to spend time in clay. Spend some time in the clay. Make something, and if you need to smush it, smush it. If you need to fire it, not burn it to smithereens, but fire it so that it hardens because you like it. Fire it. Ground lavender. What in your life is calming? What in your life is calming? Who in your life is calming? And then maybe some ground turmeric. I don't recommend putting these all in the same recipe. That might not taste good. But ground turmeric might be, who are those people that help decrease the inflammation in your world? Who helps remove the anxiety? Who helps put you at ease? What helps? It may not be a person. And those things, that time when we could take to grind out our gratitude, it brings out our full flavor of life. If you take a dried herb and you just sprinkle it into whatever you're supposed to put it in, it's not going to be as flavorful unless you give it a little smushing, a little crinkling, because it wakens up that herb, it wakens up that life. So when we take the time to do that for ourselves, then we realign, we awaken, and we rebalance. So this week, take some time to journal. There's a journaling theme lately, but just bear with me. All of the things that counteract and transmute your negative emotions. So what brings you out of your funk? The gratitude, the taking a mile run, all the things. Journal those, and this is the biggest part. Please don't set this aside and not look at it again, because you're going to need it. Because when you're in it, when you're in the feels, if you're suffering from a chronic illness and you're hurting and you don't feel good and you just need that little something to lift you up, this is your first aid kit. This is your, oh yeah, I like to take a long bath because it calms me down. I'm grateful for running water to my pipes and a water heater. Intermix that gratitude with that. I know we're cooking up something awesome. And I know that we're cooking up something amazing, that when we shine our light, when we grind our gratitude, when we do those secret ingredients in our recipe of life, that the world around us gets better and better. And with that, we can affirm, and I've got to turn around because I didn't write it down up here. I release circumstances and let gratitude bring me to center. I release circumstances and let gratitude bring me to center. I release circumstances and let gratitude bring me to center. Feels good already, doesn't it? Shine on, y'all.